Listen, I'd like to get my Oscar for that performance. It's April Fools, and we are just pranking our audience. I think this is the third year in a row that we tricked the Tam Fam, so thank you for indulging us. But we have an actual show today, and all hour we are meeting people who experience the unexpected things they never imagined happening were not on their bingo card. Our next guest, whose story I saw, it was first reported in People magazine, Alnissa Willams and her mom, Dukezha Morris, had a falling out 2 years ago after their long strained relationship reached a breaking point. But it wasn't until January 5th this year when Alnissa had an epiphany and decided now was the right time to make amends. So she drove across country 37 hours from California to Virginia to give her mom the surprise of a lifetime. Take a look. Daytime exclusive Tam Fam, please welcome Alnissa Willams and her mom, Dukezha Morris. First of all, thank you so much for accepting the invitation to come on the show. A lot of people are interested in this because I know that at some point in our lives, you understand a relationship hits a bump. And sometimes a bump can turn into a distance so far that you never imagined. Tell me a little bit about, not a lot about the past, because this is about the future. That's right. But you all had not seen each other for how long?
2 years.
2 years. Do you remember the last conversation you had prior to reuniting?
An argument.
It was an argument. And you said, Ashley, that it was divine intervention.
That's
How do you
right.
describe that?
I say divine intervention because I had actually been casing my mom through my maternal grandmother, which is her mother.
What do you mean by that?
Because they had a relationship. And so I actually was checking with my Nana to see if my mother would be home because I had an epiphany and I said, well, you know what? I need to see my mother. I need to make sure she's going to be home though. So my Nana was able to kind of talk to my mother just to find out, you know, if she would be home. Definitely did not tell her we were coming.
What were those 2 years like for you? Not being able to talk to her every day, not being able to get her advice, and knowing that whatever happened could be healed, but neither of you seemed ready at the time. What were those 2 years like?
Lonely.
Lonely.
Very.
I felt abandoned. I cried a lot of nights. It was a lot of sleepless nights for sure. Because the relationship was not there. I couldn't call.
Dukezha, you were coming home from church and you said you just prayed about missing your child. What was that prayer?
I just prayed that God would make sure he made everything right. And the thing about it is, that was my first time going to church. I just moved to Virginia, and someone invited me to that church probably 4 or 5 months prior. And that weekend, that Sunday was the Sunday that I went out of all the Sundays.
Wow. Alnissa, you worked as a security guard.
I did.
And you had a pivotal moment. What was that moment?
Right, so I was working night shift as a security guard. It was at a warehouse, but it was directly across the street from a cemetery. And when you're working nights and you're directly across a cemetery, it makes you think. You think a lot. And I had to think because everyone has a story.
Yeah.
Even me. And I had to realize, who do I want in my story? And can I go, it's been 2 years, can I go forever without having a relationship with my mother? The answer was no.
So you drove 37 hours.
Yes, ma'am.
Cross country. Who was in the car?
It was me, my husband, my 2 girls, and my Nana, her mother.
Were you nervous as you're getting closer? I mean, when you start a 37-hour journey, that feels like a lifetime, and then suddenly you're an hour away, and you're closer, and you're closer.
Right.
Where was she at the time?
I don't know where she was. I knew she would be home. Like I knew she wouldn't be too far.
Yeah.
Had no idea she would be walking up the street. Initially, we pulled up. We circled around to try to figure out what we were going to do with parking. We found a parking spot right in front of her building. And I'm like, okay, now what do I do now? Do I call her? Like, what do I do? Do I say, surprise, I'm here?
It didn't look like you have to do much.
Right. She was walking right up the street. Yeah.
She was walking right up the street.
So it went like this. My Nana said, you don't have to do, she was like, don't call anybody, your mom's up the street. I said, what? I hopped out the car and this is the result.
As soon as you got out of the car.
Yes.
What was that like for you? Because you didn't see, it wasn't on your bingo card.
No.
But it was on your prayer list.
It was on my prayer list, and God answered my prayer in His time.
So you all have reunited. You talk multiple times a day now.
That's right.
The bond is there. The love is there. The tears of relief are there.
That's right.
Coming up, you won't believe how their viral heartfelt reunion has changed their relationship and the advice they have for other families who are broken but need to mend. We'll be right back.